Hey guys, this is MTP Flyers, and yes, I'm going to go there. This phone is without a doubt probably the worst experience I've ever had with a phone, and I will go on record to say that next big thing, I don't think so. So there is a lot to cover, and I got it all right here. So let's just jump into this. All right, so let's just get into the good things because there are plenty bad that I need to go over. Now, let's just give you a little bit of a rundown. I had this phone for about a month, so I put it through its paces. When I first got it, I used it, let the battery die, charged it for 8 hours, let the battery die, charged it for 8 hours, let the battery die. Whether that's something that needs to be done anymore, I don't know. I don't want to risk it. I want to do the same thing that I do with every phone that I get that's brand new and put it through that paces to kind of condition the battery and let it do its thing. So, with that being said, 1 month, used the battery, and I did everything I could to see how fast I could kill the battery, how long it could go, just to give you an idea. So, the good things that I found with this. Now, I use this every single day. It was my daily driver, and the App Store was fine. It had every app that, for the most part, would use at the iOS App Store. I had the Yahoo Sports, the YouTube app, Voxer, Gas Buddies, Citizens Bank for my banking. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Tweetbot, but I tried Tweetcaster and Carbon. I tried a couple of the other ones, didn't like them. Ended up falling back on Tweetcaster just because I guess it was kind of smooth, and I liked the way that it worked. Beyond that, I had my FiOS remote that I would use, my weather app, SiriusXM, Dropbox. Those are the things that I was in most of the time, and those are what I would use on the Apple iPhone as well as this phone. So the App Store, in my opinion, for what I used it for, I thought it was fine. I don't really have any problems. Android Store, Play Store has definitely grown leaps and bounds since it originally started up. So props to that. The screen looks great. It looks very pretty, and it's very sharp. But I've got another side of that, and we'll get into that with the other stuff. So the design of the phone, I thought it was fine. It was easy to use in the hand. It's very light, but it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it moves around a whole lot. Kind of like if you had this plastic back and you're afraid it might creak. No problems whatsoever with that. And again, I'll get into the other things with that. So I thought the design was fine. You definitely can't go wrong. Thin, classy looking. With the white, don't see any smudge marks or anything like that. The dark blue or black might be a little bit different, but that's why I got the white version because it stays clean. Never really needed to put a case on it. I liked it that much. I didn't want to put a case on it. Now on to some of the bigger features of the phone, which I think are equally as important. Making phone calls, no problems whatsoever. Probably one of the better experiences I had using a phone. I was very impressed with the iPhone 5 when it came to call quality and people hearing me and me hearing them. Thought this phone did a great job with that. No drop calls, and I guess you got to kind of give props to Verizon and from where I'm at. But, the phone call feature I thought was fine. Using it, getting contacts and all that, no problems whatsoever. Now, I did use the speakerphone a lot, and I had a lot of success with it. Not a whole lot of complaints on the other end. However, when I would listen, I felt like it cracked a lot and it was overmodulated to try to get the sound louder. You would turn it down even a little bit to halfway, and it would still crack. If I used a speakerphone to talk on Voxer to my buddy Mr. Double D50, I'd literally hold the phone out here and, or way back here and talk. And it, if I just kind of talk like this, and it would still crackle. I could hold it out to here and go, "Hey, Doug, what's going on?" And it would still crackle. So, very sensitive microphone on this, and the speakerphone definitely showed that. So, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. You got to be careful of when you're using that. But it's definitely loud. You can definitely hear what's going on. So, the next feature that I think did pretty well was the camera. Definitely a clean picture, very sharp. Working it in low light was a little bit tough. Took some pictures of my daughter with just the overhead light on and without the flash, and you could definitely see the grain in that. a lot more grainy than I would use with other cameras and stuff like that on the iPhone. But with the flash, bar none, awesome picture. Lit everything up real well, completely sharp as you see here. And I got a little bit of the red eye, going on there, but just the picture around it and everything is just completely sharp. So, I used it to take pictures with the flash, without the flash, and daylight. I thought it did great. I thought it was an awesome camera, and we'll get to the features of that, but the core use of the camera I thought was great, and I thought how it put the pictures, if you did a screenshot or anything, into organization on the phone, I thought was really cool too. That's kind of an extension of the camera on that, but I gotta go on the bad side, and but we'll get into that. Now, as far as the good, that was really about it. Those are the good things that I found with the phone. I'm sure there are a couple other things I can think of. Expandable memory, expandable space, but I never put a card in there because, again, I'm only using it for the month. That is a good idea, and I think something you will need because it only has 16 gig that it comes in, and the OS takes up majority of that. So not really a good, but it is a good because not many phones have the ability to expand or even a removable battery. Removable battery is a must on this phone if you're a heavy user. We'll get into that as well. So I'm going to jump into the bad part because this is, in my opinion, what really undid the phone for me. And it's all these things, from experience to just using. So we're going to jump into this. I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible and give you guys some examples and just roll through it and let the discussion go, because figure out what everybody thinks, what everybody feels. These other YouTubers are out there, and I'm not going to name any names, but I see this phone come out. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's awesome. I love it. Blah, 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 blah. The battery, this, that. It's awesome. It's smooth. It's quick. And I didn't experience that, but maybe for a few days, and that's when the shit started going down. So I don't know what phone you guys are using. I don't know if I got a bum phone, but it sounds like to me that you're kind of trying to just push through it and rush through it and say it's the greatest thing. I don't see it. Sorry. I want to try the HTC One. I want to try the pure Android on this and see if I have a better experience. That's the ultimate test. With this TouchWiz, it sucks. So, let me tell you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so first things first. The battery life on this thing. If you don't use it, the battery will last all day. And what I mean by all day is, I get up at probably 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I leave it on the charger till about 6:30, 7 when I leave. And from 7 o'clock, I would say almost 24 hours, this battery could last if you keep the usage down to about an hour to 2 hours of straight usage. Now, what I mean by that is you have the standby, which is what I'm talking about, being close to 24 hours. And then you have what's called screen time, or when you have the device on. Now, what you're doing with that device, changes it. While I say from an hour and a half to 2 hours to maybe like 2.5 hours, you get optimal use of that battery. Now, the things I had to do to get that battery are turn off all the features that are on the phone. I had to turn the brightness down to less than half. Talking 0.25%, or 1/4 that of the brightness of the screen, which in turn, this thing blows outside in sunlight. You got to turn it back up because the screen life on this, or the life of the battery, 75, 60, 65% of the battery usage was the screen. So it's beautiful looking, but it's sucking up the battery. So you got to keep it down to half. How do you enjoy the phone if you got to turn it all the way down to do that? I got a problem with that. People tell me that are using the phone now. Oh yeah, I carry an extra battery. I thought this was the greatest battery known to man. 2,200 milliamps or 2,500 milliamps. This thing will last all day. What's all day? I don't know about you, but for me, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, this thing's got to go through to at least 7 o'clock at night, And even then, it's annoying. I gotta plug it in and do that. Right now, it's 9 something at night, 10 o'clock at night. I had to plug this in for a little bit because it was down to 3%. I'm up to 17%, and I charged it for 2 hours. The battery life on this, if you don't use it, it's great. But if you're a heavy user and you're using this thing for more than 3 hours, 3 hours in a day, you will see that battery just... I mean, I have done this thing where I've used it for 3.5, maybe 4 hours, and of usage. And we're talking 4 hours from 6 to 6:30 till 1 in the afternoon of between that and standby. I got 4 hours of usage, 3 hours of usage, and the battery's down to 10%, 5%. Got to plug it in. I'm not even halfway through my workday. So I keep going on that. I'm going to stop. Battery usage, in my opinion, battery life, horrible. If you're any kind of user of this device, you got to plug it in, bring an extra battery, and do all that. That defeats the purpose of it. Yes, you're going to say, yeah, Mike, but the iPhone. Yeah, we're not talking about the iPhone. Yes, the iPhone battery is pitiful. If we want to make it about that and comparing the two, both batteries suck. Okay? I'll admit it right now. You want honesty? There's your honesty. The battery sucks on the iPhone just as bad as it sucks on this thing. So there you go. That's just my opinion. I don't like that. That annoys me. So the next thing I find is the UI, or the how the system runs. I think it's slow. I have probably 6 gig left on this, I think. 5 gig of free space on this. And you do something as simple as go to landscape. You want to turn this message over on the side here. You're talking, let's see here. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, almost 3 seconds it takes for it to go from landscape to portrait and back and forth. I don't know about you, but that's not quick at all. That's not what this is touted as far as that goes. I get stuff freezing and lagging and slowing down. And did I have all that stuff on the device? I hope not, because if that's what happens when you've got 6 gig left on the phone, then you got to go out and get extra storage. Is that the point? I don't know. I had a horrible experience with how that worked, and that didn't impress me. I really never had that issue with the iPhone, and dare I say with that Windows phone. It was never really laggy. Sorry, and maybe it's that Sense or that TouchWiz garbage that's on there. So that's the next thing. Like I said earlier, all those little gimmicks that they have on TouchWiz here to make it the next big thing with the hand swiping over the pictures and using your eyes to or moving your whole damn head to have the page go up and down. I couldn't get that crap to work right half the time anyway. You got to sit there and set up your eyes to look up and down where it's going to read. You leave all that crap on, it kills your battery. And this multi-window that they have on the left side, when it first came up, I didn't even realize what it was. I had to figure it out, and Doug helped me. This thing is popping up when I'm using the phone, playing a game, and it's getting in the way because the little bump sticks out from the side of the phone. Now, I don't really understand the purpose of that other than to quick jump, but I thought that's what the multi-touch window was, or the task manager to go and switch to different apps. I don't know. Call me crazy. I guess it's things that you want to have in there that you want to easily get to. But in my opinion, it was more of a hindrance because the damn thing got in the way when you were trying to use apps, and then it looks kind of ugly. You can't make it go away. You can't slide from the bottom or do something like that. Horrible design. Luckily, you can turn it off. And that's exactly what I did with most of these great features that they have on the phone here. At the top here, I turned off GPS. I turned off Smart Stay. I turned off this multi-window. I turned off S-Beam, NFC, AirView, Smart Scroll. None of these things worked half the time. And in order to really help me extend my battery life, I couldn't have it on. And this Smart Scroll thing with your eyes and tilting it up and down and everything, it only works on a few of the applications that are native to the phone. I don't use the browser. I really don't want to use the email because the email is horrible in my opinion. So, it's only the things that come on the device for now. Is it a cool idea? Yeah, it's cool. Do you use it? No. It's gimmicky. You sit there and you swipe the pictures on the, oh, look at that, oh, yeah, you impress your friends. Beyond that, just let me flick the damn pictures and get to where I need to go to. It's really just a gimmick. That's all it is. Is it needed? I don't think it is. I don't use it. In my opinion, it just gets in the way. So all those features, all that crap that I just said, I ended up turning it all off because it killed the battery. So that's pointless in my opinion. If you got to turn them off to get better battery life, which is what a lot of people told me when we were talking about it on Twitter. Oh, turn your brightness down. Oh, you got to turn those off. If I got to turn them off, what's the point? That's stupid. Hey, other phones do the same thing. Turn half that crap off. Those stupid gimmicks that aren't really useful. Get rid of them. One of the other things that they have are the messages on the front lock screen. When I get texts and from other people, there's a way to swipe it open, but most of the time I would end up getting used to what I did with the iPhone, which Windows didn't do, is to swipe it over and it goes right to the message. Well, on here I tap on it, the screen would light up on the bottom, the empty square. I'd have to slide over and get to it. Okay, so I had to do 2 taps. I was like, okay, that's kind of annoying. Then I realized that you don't necessarily have to do that, but you have to tap on the message and then swipe it on top of it. So really, at the end of the day, it's still 2 taps to open it. Completely dumb. I didn't like it. If there's another way to do it that have the messages on there, I didn't really have the time to figure it out or the patience to figure it out. I thought that's the way that was the best way to do it. I didn't want my message showing up on there or anybody seeing the phone. Again, it was kind of clunky in my opinion, and that, again, was to the slow UI. You would go ahead and click something at the top on the drop-down, pull-down menu, and you would tap on it, and the menu would close, and you go back to the main screen, and then the app would open up. And I'm not talking a quick, it was like, you tap on it, it closed to the main screen, and the app would open up. That's about how fast it took. Again, it seems like we're going backwards here with putting all this crap on the phone, and it's slowing it down. I don't know many other people that talked about this as being a huge issue. You using the phone? Are you trying it out? Or are you just moving on to the next phone and you're not even bothered testing these things properly, saying they're the greatest phones of the year? I don't know. I don't see it. I didn't experience it. I think it sucks. So basically, to wrap up all this stuff about TouchWiz and the features that Samsung has added for that, I think it ruins the whole experience of Android, in my opinion. The camera's great, works solid. Doing the black and white and changing that was cool. All that other stuff that's on there, dumb. Get rid of it. I think pure Android on this phone, when it does come out, I think will be perfect for this device. That's a good thing, and I will stand behind that. I might enjoy the experience a lot more. The battery might be a lot better. And then I might finally say, Android, that's a competitor. That can be something that might be able to step up. But, again, we'll have to try and see it. So, that's my opinion on that. One of the other things that I use a lot of, because I may have a customer that is emailing me or a company that's emailing me and I have the email on my phone, they send me a tracking number. I want to copy and paste that tracking number. Do you know how many different kinds of copy and paste are on this phone? We're just going to show these things real quick just to try to help you guys understand it. Let's say we're doing a text message and I want to copy a message that my wife sent me. And I'm going to copy, she's talking about going to wait for the storm to pass. And I want to copy that whole message. So you tap on that and it brings up all these message options. So I want to copy the message text. I'm going to go down to enter the message and you got a little paste in a clipboard. Okay, well, it just went away. I took too long. So you want to paste that on there, okay? So you copy and paste that. Now, it's on a clipboard. I'm going to show you the clipboard real quick here. Oh, look, it comes up with yet a different menu when you're going to copy-paste something that's in a live window. Let's clip on the clipboard, and I'll show you down the bottom. This is cool. I think this is neat. It's got all your other stuff on there, tracking numbers. I've got stuff for customers that's being set out, stuff for myself. So you can go ahead and clear that or do that. So we go back. I want to copy and paste this message. Oh, wait, no. I want to copy it. No, wait. Oh, there you go. See? Okay, so we want to select all, and then I want to copy it. All right, so let's say I want to go to Firefox, and I'm going to go to Google, and I want to take this message for some reason, and I want to paste it into the Google search. Oh, okay, that's different yet again. Okay, so we got a different menu on here now. All right, so let's go ahead and search. And whatever I search up for, this first link here, I go onto a website. I want to copy and paste something that's on there. So I'm going to tap on it and, oh wait, okay, now hold on here. Now, this is a different menu. So let's copy and paste something down. Wait. Alright, so I want to copy and paste something on the main page here. So we're going to tap on it, and okay, so I'm selecting. There's no selection. I tap on it. Okay, so wait, text is copied. Okay, so now you don't have a menu pop up when you want to do it. You just highlight what you want, you tap on it, and it copies it to your clipboard. Alright, so let's say if I want to go on the top here, and I want to copy and paste that, I'm going to paste it there, and it tells me paste with a different menu. So really what I'm trying to say with the copy and paste is, which one is it? You got stuff appearing at the top of the phone, scrolling across, and then you got the stuff appearing right down where you're at the text. Then you got the whole screen taken over, or what you want to do. Which is it? And I hate to say it, and I'm always going to go back to this. When you're on the iPhone, it's one simple way, and it can do everything. You're not looking at a different spot. You're not seeing it. Sometimes a menu pops up. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can highlight it. Sometimes it doesn't. Which is it? What are you doing here? Is this part of TouchWiz and pure Android fighting with each other depending on the applications that you're using? That probably sounds more like it, if you ask me. What do I know? I'm just somebody using the phone, giving you my honest opinion. That sucks. That's annoying. You're trying to figure out what the hell you want to copy and paste, and you got different freaking menus popping up, stuff coming across the top, across the bottom, not showing anything at all, going to a clipboard, which you didn't even realize was there. Don't have time for that, and I don't think you guys have time for that. It's just stuff that slows the phone down because it's trying to do 6 different ways to do a copy and paste. Something that's supposed to be simple. And people made fun of Apple because they took so long to come out with it. Well, guess what? In my opinion, they waited because they figured out how to do it properly. Again, my opinion. You want to sacrifice me for it or yell at me and tell me, oh, you're dumb? Whatever. That's how I feel. I'm giving you my honest opinion. Now, I don't know if this is something that I can necessarily recreate on video and show you guys, but sometimes I feel like when I turn the phone off and I turn it back on and I go into an app or I swipe over to go into an app or I'm doing something, if I open up Twitter, which in this particular one that I'm using, Tweetcaster, it has ads at the bottom. I'll go ahead and tap that open, and I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong or whatever, but the ad opens up first. Or I'll turn the phone off and turn it back on, and I'll swipe over to go to the screen, and the App Store's up. The Play Store's up. I'm not quite sure if I'm doing something, but it feels like what I refer to as a phantom tap. I swipe the screen over to turn it on, and maybe because I held my finger on too long and I'm swiping over, it's tapping on something. I don't know. That seems like one of those things, like an incidental touch, that I always thought something that they do with most touchscreens on that. One of the other things that I noticed, sometimes my apps will move to other pages. I've had several times where I had an app disappear from over here, which was my YouTube, and kept appearing 2 screens over here under my email. What's the point of that? So, I don't know when that happens. If that happens to anybody else, comment down below. It just feels like sometimes it does these weird things, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? Where am I? Go back, or I'm using the phone and my hand will touch the bottom if I'm reaching to do something. So, it's just literally, look, I'm trying to speed dial. I might have my hand here, and it just taps. by accident. Next thing you know, I'm in something else. So you got to be careful with the way you're holding the phone, that if you're going to do a one-hand operation, you got to make sure you keep your hand over and up. And I don't know if those capacitive buttons are the best thing. I think they look cool there, but functionality-wise, it's kind of a pain in the butt. You kind of sit there and you might sit there and hold your finger over your home button, and you just kind of just doing things and just, having a place to put your thumb, and you might end up tapping the menu or the back button. Next thing you know, you're not where you want to be. That's how I've experienced it when I'm using the phone. Just normal, everyday, getting out of something that I'm doing, it gets a little bit frustrating. So those are some of the things that I thought with that, bumping and weird things happening and slowing down in the middle of apps. We play a game one time and then I'll go back in and it's really slow. Is that the app? Is that the phone? I don't know. It probably would lean more towards the app. We don't want to knock the phone for that, but it's using the system to run it, so it's really tough to say what really is doing that and what isn't. One last thing that I'm going to talk about, people had always talked about, they would say, if you want a device that is just basic, and most people say plain, boring, dull, iPhone OS is for you. If you want customizable, the Android. What do you mean by customizable? I don't quite understand what you mean by customizable. You can put a widget on the screen. You can put weather on the screen so you have it up top. Besides customizable, what do you mean? I don't know this definition or this word being thrown around by customizable. Is it something a standard person can do that's customizable? Well, I can change my picture on the back. You can do that pretty much on any phone, except for Windows. Customizable. I don't know what you mean. Customizable. Widgets. I could be or be without widgets. I go into my email. I got that up here. I'm like, oh, cool, check it out. I can scan through my email. If I want to go into the email, maybe I want to, just go into it. I want to go into the app. I got to tap into the app, and then I have to swipe over this way, and then I got to go back, and then I can go back to the inbox and go to the other stuff. So to get to that, in my opinion, I'd rather just open up the app and go into it and do it that way. That's just me. Less steps makes it easier for you to use the phone, less problems to go through, less to remember. Smoother experience, a more pleasant experience. You want to call the iPhone OS bland, but guess what? You don't have none of this bullshit where you have to do 3, 4, 5 clicks to get to where you need to go to. People may not want to hear this. This is my honest opinion. I've been saying this for years. Why do 4 clicks when one will do? OS does the same thing sometimes when you're like, they thought they made something better. You got to tap in, you got to go here, go here, go here. That's annoying. One of the things that we were waiting for was that pull-down menu that would allow to have Wi-Fi on it. What did Apple do? They went from the bottom and did that. Some of the features that are on here, from sliding down to the top and, accessing your Wi-Fi and doing all that, that's awesome. Great idea by Android. One of the first ones to do that and really implement it in their phones. Can't knock them for it, but this isn't the only phone that has it. It's the Android operating system, not the phone we're using here. So, going back to all that stuff with customizable and widgets, okay. In my opinion, that's kind of another gimmick. When people talk about widgets, the only widget I ever see on most people's phone is the weather. Look outside. Who cares? Half these widgets that I use don't have a great way to go in and look at maps when you're doing stuff if you want to look at the weather. I end up using WeatherBug, or something like that. Alright guys, so at the end, I would not recommend this phone. In my opinion, this is not the next big thing. In my opinion, this is not one of the best smartphones of the year along the HTC One. I haven't used the HTC One. It's not on Verizon, so in my opinion, if it's not available across the network, it's kind of a fail if you can't even use it on a network that you're going. That's one of the big mistakes that Apple first made, only being on AT&T. But they've erased that, and they're across platforms now. HTC One comes out. It's not available on Verizon, one of the biggest cell phone providers. How do you not do that? That's a bonehead move, in my opinion. And Apple was a bonehead move, in my opinion, when all that happened. So, no, I will not recommend this phone. I cannot recommend this phone. If you want to use it, I can't recommend it because you're only going to end up bitching and moaning that the battery life sucks. You have to turn all the features off to get somewhat of a good battery life. Or you can get great battery life. Just don't use the phone. How do you endorse something like this that doesn't even work for what geeks like us use it for? Watching videos, using the internet, using the Wi-Fi hotspot. It doesn't work. It's not a good device for someone who's going to use it. If you want to use this phone an hour and a half a day straight, and you're going to leave it on standby, it's perfect. But your experience is going to blow. It's going to be laggy. You're going to do something as simple as go from portrait to landscape, and you're going to have to wait almost 3 seconds for it to do it. By that time, you open the camera up and you turn it on its side, you've missed the picture. Had that happen many a times with my daughter. And you guys know that have little kids. They don't hold for nothing. So enough of me talking. I apologize. I'm rambling on and on. So that is it. That's the phone. It's going back. I don't like it. I can't recommend it. I don't know who else could recommend this thing, honestly, without just saying, oh, the specs are great. Oh, it looks great. Oh, it has this quad-core processor and this a memory or two a memory and blah, blah, blah. You know what? If it don't work in the real world, who gives a crap what the specs are? Use the phone and be honest about it. That's what we're hearing about. Everybody wants to be honest and give honest reviews and do all that. Well, guess what? Here's an honest review for you. It might be 20, 25 minutes long, but it's honest. I'll stick by it. And if you have any suggestions on a better experience, feel free to comment down below intelligently. Tell me what I did wrong. Don't tell me I'm an a-hole, you moron, you didn't do it right. What didn't I do right? Let's have an intelligent conversation. Tell me, oh, you know what, Mike? When you did this, you need to set it up like this. It's real simple. It's not 3 clicks like you did it. It's actually this. That's what I'm looking for. And at the end of the day, I will probably recommend pure Android on this phone. I'm sure it's going to be great. Like any other time I've used a pure Android product, I've had a good experience. Maybe with the exception of the Nexus because the battery sucked on that. But I did buy that phone used, so kind of got to throw that to caution to the wind. But I had a great experience. This, not so much. But that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and stick around for more. We're going to try to get some other phones and see what we can do. It's expensive to do that. But I really did want to keep this phone. I really did, but I can't. It's going back. Going back to the iPhone 5. That's it for me. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you later. See ya!